Here are 5 things that you could be doing as a hairstylist that could be making or breaking your service. This is something that I see frequently as a haircutting specialist when I see other stylists working, and when I'm a consumer myself as a client, when I go to the salon and I get my hair done and I'm seeing these things that I'm like, oh, if you just fix that one thing, you could increase your retention, increase your revenue. You could really have a phenomenal clientele if you don't do any of these things. Okay, so I'm going to go through them and I'm going to give you alternatives for what you could do. Number 1 is consulting through the mirror. I used to do this, but it always felt uncomfortable, especially when I was starting out. I was like, this is odd. Like, I need to see the person right in front of me. If you're consulting through the mirror, you are not seeing their face to face. You're seeing the image reflection in the mirror. You have to look directly into their faces to see what's going on with their hair, how somebody else would perceive them when they go see their friends, when they go see their families, when they're at their job. You need to look them straight in the eye. And so I talk about this in my course, Art of Client Consultation. You have to get a stool or a saddle and you have to sit in front of your client and talk to them at least for the first few minutes. I will still move back and consult through the mirror because I find sometimes the mirror is very much truthful. The mirror doesn't lie. So whenever I'm looking at somebody face to face, sometimes I don't notice these little cowlicks or these little things that are happening in the hair that I can see in the mirror, and I can understand why you would want to consult through the mirror. Totally understandable. But at least for the first 5 minutes of your consultation, first 3 minutes of your consultation, you have to sit down in front of your client, and putting yourself at eye level with them makes them feel so comfortable and seen. I noticed a huge difference once I started doing this. Their body language just opens up and they are ready to tell you everything. They feel comfortable. It's so comforting. And a lot of people that come to the salon are just so nervous. They've had their hair butchered, they've had their hair fried, they've had some really bad experiences, or maybe not, like okay experiences. If you add this one level of warmth, it just feels like a really warm hug. Like, when you meet somebody the first time and they're just so excited to see you, that's what it feels like when you sit at eye level with them. Before I started sitting on a stool and talking to my clients, I would be standing up against the mirror. Those instances were also good, but it's also can be very intimidating because you're overpowering them at this point. You are looking down at them, which could be very uncomfortable, especially if the person is intimidated or they're insecure or if they have anxiety. It just doesn't feel good. Like, I want someone who's going to sit next to me. It just feels like you're sitting on the couch. You're just having a good chat. There's no rush. I think that's the main thing, is like, we're not in a rush. Consulting through the mirror and consulting while you're standing up just feels like you're rushing, feels like you don't care. So I really, really urge you to consult by sitting at eye level with your clients. It's really, really important. Number 2, not diagnosing the client's hair. The amount of clients who have come to me flustered is pretty high. So they've never been told what their hair wants to do or what it is, or they've never been told what the texture is of their hair, or maybe that they have a bunch of cowlicks on their scalp. You need to diagnose your client's hair. When a client doesn't know and you're not diagnosing it, you're not telling them, hey, you actually have this type of hair, they're going to go to the drugstore, they're going to buy whatever, herbal essences or Pantene. They'll never know that they have healthy hair. They'll never know that they have curly hair. They'll never know if they have damaged hair. They don't know if they have dry hair. They don't know if they have a oily scalp. They don't know if they have dandruff or dry scalp. So they don't know. And that could really ruin your work because the products that they use changes everything. Whenever I use New Wash on my clients, my haircuts look freaking awesome. And whenever I see clients using shampoo on their hair and then they come back in for a trim, I can see like it looks dry, it looks dull, it just doesn't look the same. So really important to diagnose your client's hair because it just empowers them as well, and it puts you in the seat of the expert. You are the expert. You are the person that they want to go to anytime they have a question about their hair. They trust you. I wouldn't go to someone who's trying to sell me a product for my skin and tells me, oh, this will work for you, without telling me what's going on with my skin. Just saying to somebody, oh, you're almost 50, so you should use this product, is not very helpful. You need to tell somebody your hair is oily, dry, combination, whatever. This is why you need to use these products. So now every time they go out, they'll think of you. They'll be like, my stylist told me that my hair is like this, so I need these products, right? So you need to diagnose, you need to educate them. Take that extra 1 minute, 2 minute while you're doing their hair. The amount of times that people have told me, oh, I thought my hair was damaged. I'm like, no, it's just dry. Like, this is such a common misconception. Clients always think that their hair is damaged and they always want you to cut off the dead ends, but their hair is just dry. They just need like a really good hair mask. Like, it's really very, very simple. So it really helps them in trusting you, and it helps them in just relief. Like, it just feels like a sigh of relief. Like, oh, finally, I know what's going on with my hair. Okay, number 3, not asking how their last service was, even if they are a repeat client. If it's color, if it's a cut, you have to ask them, how was it last time? You know, it was a big transformation last time. Did you like it? How have you been getting along with your new hair? I love when clients come back after their shag haircuts, because I have to say, the grow outs are phenomenal, and I'm always so proud to see my work. So if you're doing color and the client comes back and the color still looks good, I would just like milk that for compliments. I'd be like, so how was it? Still looks good. And they'll tell you what they've been doing at home. Sometimes clients will trim their bangs at home and not tell you unless you ask. So it's really important to know that, because you need to know how to connect the lines, because usually the lines are very disconnected. Or they could be using a toning mask at home if they're doing color to keep the color. So you need to know these things. So how was your hair last time? How have you been getting along with your hair? Always ask, even if they say, oh, same as last time. I've noticed that sometimes people will sit in my chair and be like, okay, ready for a haircut. I'm like, okay, so same as last time? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so how did you like it? Then they start saying, actually, you know what? I really want to change this thing. It's almost like they're waiting for you to give them permission to tell them what they can have. You're the expert, remember. So you gotta put yourself in that expert seat and allow them to feel comfortable. Number 4, this is a pet peeve of mine, although I really appreciate it because I love products. I love retail. I love when people are talking about products. But you cannot talk about products when there's no problem to solve. Here's the thing. Products are meant to solve our problems, be it a shampoo, a conditioner, something like New Wash, which is like a cleansing conditioner, cleansing wash, or a styling product. Could be a dry shampoo, it could be an oil, it could be a leave-in repair, something with protein in it. Like whatever product you want to push onto your client or you want them to buy, there has to be a problem. We don't buy products unless there is a problem. I'm not going to buy this microphone unless I need really good audio. I bought this because I wanted good audio that could also translate into a podcast, that I don't have to worry about playing with ambient noise and trying to figure out how to edit audio. I wanted crisp audio. I wanted a light that was going to do one job, one light source. I paid $400 for this light. It's called TML. Check the link in the description. It is the best light ever because I had a problem. Every time I would use softboxes, they weren't giving me what I needed. Using daylight wasn't consistent enough. Sometimes days were cloudy. Sometimes the days were really sunny and the sun was right in my eye. It was just really bothering me. That's why we buy products. If we have a problem, then we buy the product. So don't talk about products unless your client has a problem, unless they mention a problem to you, or you, after diagnosing their hair, tell them, your hair is like this. This is what I recommend for you. But talking about the entire line when they haven't asked, maybe they just want to zone out. And when you haven't diagnosed their hair, you haven't told them that they have an issue with their hair and that you recommend this to fix it. Otherwise, something bad will happen. That's the script that I use. They're just going to tune out. They're going to find it very annoying. So for example, I had a client who came in who had very dry, tangly hair. I knew that if she continued on her regular routine, that she was going to end up with really bad split ends. And I know how much she loves her hair. She wants her hair super long. This girl looks like she's got extensions and it's so long. It's so beautiful. It's so black. And I give her like razored haircuts and razored layers. So I just said to her, look, you're going to have to switch up your routine. So I recommended the New Wash and Rich. And I said, put it all over your hair. Let it sit. Because if you don't start taking care of your hair now, you're going to get split ends. It's going to start breaking off. I know how much you love your hair. I just solved her problem. Even if you're working and you want to share the products with your client, like I have this high impact brows. The colors are really nice and they're highly pigmented. But if they don't suit my clients, I'm not going to be like, here, this is high impact brows. You should buy it. That's not how it works. We buy iPhones because we need good camera and I need to be able to airdrop to my MacBook all my files so I can do content. There's a reason for things. Okay, so I went off on a tangent there. It's just just like your clients could be tuning out. Maybe they just want a silent session. So I offer silent sessions. Highly recommend that you offer them in the salon. Ask your client if they would like you to talk about the product. Would you be interested in knowing what I'm using on you today? And if they say, no, I'm good, then don't say anything. You can't break that trust. But if they say, yeah, sure, then it just becomes so much easier. It becomes a conversation. A lot of times I'll be using a product and they'll be like, ooh, what is that? You've got the product junkie clients. Those are the best. That's when you start talking about your products. I do recommend that you just say like, oh, this is dry shampoo. You might like this. Do you ever use dry shampoo? Yeah. Always make it a conversation. They could be perfectly happy with their hair care. Let's move on to number 5, not explaining what you're doing. I understand this because it could be really hard to talk at the same time while you're cutting or coloring the hair, but I really, really encourage you to talk about what you're doing for the client. Number 1, I'll tell you why, because they're going to come back and they're going to love what you did and they're going to be like, you did X, you're going to forget what you did. This happens all the time. It's a good way of keeping notes on your client so they will remember what you did. I'll usually explain to my client, okay, so your hair is like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some layers in the back. I'm going to keep it blunt to give it a little bit more density because your hair can be a little bit fine and you said you really like that blunt look. So we're going to keep the line nice and blunt, but I'm going to give you layers so that it also gives you that nice round shape. And then we're going to give you some soft bangs that you can wear both sides. And then once we're done, I might just go in and do a little bit of refining and maybe thin your hair at the roots a little bit because you said it's a little bit heavy for you. So we're going to take out some weight. Just explaining your vision. Like, again, you are the expert. It puts you as the expert. You know what you're doing. You have a plan. You have a vision. And they immediately, I always notice the body language, they just kind of like relax. They're just kind of like, okay, I'm in good hands. She knows what she's doing. For color, if somebody comes to you with wanting a balayage and they're brunette and they want a really fun balayage, then you explain to them, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you a money piece right here because you said you really like to curl the front of your hair and you like to put your hair up in a ponytail, so we're going to do this, and then we're going to give you like softer color down here. You're going to work off of the inspiration photo that they gave you. So that is a really, really good way to establish trust. You do this while you're sitting in front of them, preferably instead of behind them and looking at them in the mirror. They're going to tell all their friends about you. They're going to say you're the best hair person that they've ever been to. They're going to be like, I've never had somebody explain to me so much about my hair. Clients will always say, nobody ever told me I had 5 cowlicks on my hair. Even though this person's been dealing with so much volume at the top of her head, no one's ever told her that it's because she's got cowlicks and the hair is crisscrossing. And so it's poofing out. So she had no idea that she had options or, different cuts that she could wear. So empower your client. It makes you feel good about your work. Make sure you time it as well. Like, make sure that this is all built into your time. If you need an hour and 15 minutes for your haircuts, do that. Like, just schedule an hour and 15 minutes for the consultation. Don't rush yourself. This is your business. I want you to prosper. All of the links will be below. I have a course on the art of client consultation that I love so much. Make sure you check it out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.